I'm not very good at like making friends. I don't know, I'm a bit weird and I accept that. I just started screaming after I hung up. I hung up before I started.
Hello, I'm Hannah Lynn. Welcome to the first episode of Women Authors Crushing It, or WACI, as it will henceforth be known. The focus of this show is to highlight amazing female authors who are, crushing it. And we've got an amazing lineup. So please make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss any of the incredible guests that I'm going to have on the show. And we are kicking off with the absolutely awesome and wonderful Francesca Catlow. Francesca, thank you so much for being our first ever guest.
You're welcome.
Really appreciate it. It has not been quite as straightforward getting this podcast up and running as we had hoped. And Francesca has been incredibly patient. So we're really, really grateful for that. So, first question, of course, what are you drinking?
I am drinking a hot chocolate in my writer's mug, which says, I'm a writer. Anything you say or do may be used in my story. So perfect mug for the occasion.
I love it. And it's completely true, right? Anything people
Oh,
say,
yeah.
we're just like, oh,
Oh,
do you know
yes.
who you're talking to? So I should have said, actually, in my introduction, and I didn't, that Francesca is an amazing finalist for the Kindle Storyteller Award. So she is absolutely crushing it in the life of authoriness at the minute. But can you tell us a little bit about how your author journey began? Like, was it a dream to always write books, or was it something you came to later in life? And thank you so much for sharing this.
Later in life, I don't feel like later in life I'm there yet. So we'll give that a few more years. Um, but no, I wasn't the kid at school who always wanted to write books or be an author. I always just wanted to be on stage and in that way sort of distanced from people, but like just singing and dancing on stage was always what I wanted to do, which I did for a long time while I could. But my husband has seizures. He started having seizures at 21 and then during like pandemic lockdown, I gave birth to our second child. And so we were stuck at home and I couldn't do any performing, obviously. And I had sort of made the decision that I couldn't really carry on with performing because of our home life anyway, because he has seizures every day. And with two small children, it's like, that's kind of impossible. So I needed some creative outlet and some escapism. So I really wanted to be in Corfu. So I started writing a book set in Corfu. So I was like feeding my baby girl, my newborn with one arm and just writing my whole book, like the whole manuscript in the notes application on my phone, which basically almost crashed my phone as well, because I don't think your notes application is meant for like 40, 50,000 words.
That's incredible. It's so incredible and it's so inspiring. Look, because I think, lots of people always want to write books and are always like, oh, that's something I'm going to do. That's something I've thought about doing. But actually just going, look, you don't need the perfect time. It's not about having that perfect time and that perfect situation. You were going through a lot, definitely not the sort of perfect scenario to, oh, I'll just write a novel during all this
No.
stress. And
It was
yet,
kind of like an accident, really. I mean, I just sort of happened upon it. I was like, oh, I think I could write a book, really like arrogantly. And I was just like, I needed that creative, when you're a creative person, you
yeah,
need to keep on with the creativity, don't you? So
absolutely. Yeah.
that's how I fell into being an author. And I love it. I'm just addicted now to writing. Like I would never go back to performance. I just literally love writing so much.
Yeah, that's so good to hear. And I think that's the thing that makes, authors who are doing amazingly and crushing it like you are, we love it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that writing is so addictive. It's what you want to be doing. So in that sense, really thank you for taking time out of your day again to help with this when I'm sure you would love to be writing. And So, next question is the most crazy or unexpected thing to have happened to you since you started your author journey?
I think for me that's like two different questions because the craziest thing I think is being shortlisted for the Kindle Storyteller Award because you just type in the keywords and you're entered into this competition. And I was like addictively looking at the page where it shows who's entered. And I kept being like at the top, like of the romance. I was like, it's gonna happen. But at the same time, when you get that like phone call, you're just like, this is insane. I like just started screaming after I hung up. I hung up before I started screaming. And I was like in the car with like my parents and my husband. And I was like, they're like, it's really loud in the car. I heard them screaming. I'm like, so that was pretty crazy. But I think the most unexpected thing is actually finding new friends because I just expected to like be just at home in bed writing books forever. Like I didn't expect to actually find friends and like our little Cambridge group tribe that which is how we met obviously just is so lovely and welcoming and everyone's like the whole community, the reading and writing community as a whole are actually really nice. But yeah, finding our little tribe was really unexpected. I did not expect to. I'm not very good at like making friends. I think I'm a little bit. I don't know. I'm a bit weird, and I accept that. Maybe it's the creative mind, and so we all get along because we've all got that vibe. I don't know.
Yeah, I think like we're so lucky if you are new to the writing, just like you and I didn't know there were people out there. Like, I know there's the book blogging community and they're fantastic, but I hadn't really discovered a writing community. And I was writing on my own for years and years,
Mm,
until I was fortunate enough to meet an amazing group of authors. And it's such incredibly inspiring and motivating having these people around you and having people to cheer you on and for you to cheer on. Like,
yeah.
just like the pride, we felt for you with the award was just like bursting. And just like
Oh yeah, the group chat went
yeah,
mad,
it
didn't
was
it? It was like,
absolutely like, oh
oh
my goodness. Yeah, it was amazing. And that's just, it's such a wonderful feeling to have. So I know that I'm so grateful for that. And if you're new to this writing and you're like, how do I do this? How do I just keep staring at a computer screen on my own for hours and hours, or on your notes on your phone, if that's how you're doing it? Just go and find some people. There are writing groups out there. If you go online, you can find them. There are just so many great people who want to talk creatively. So,
yeah.
yeah, I would definitely recommend that. Okay, so obviously we know that you are crushing it, um, but success is different for everybody. So, what's your definition? What does success look like to you?
I think it changes as you go along. What you always have these like little goals for yourself. So success changes as you go along. But initially, when I first started out, as I said, I had this strange situation and my husband, so his seizures in the past and can happen still. He's had psychosis and Alice in Wonderland syndrome and everything else. And when he got one bout of psychosis, he was actually at work. It was really bad actually. His boss basically was insulting his epilepsy. It was really genuinely awful. And it really triggered him. And then he ended up slipping into psychosis, long story short, and he disappeared from work. And that was when like the specialists were like, he can't work. You need to realize this. He can't carry on with this job. He needs to go on benefits. And we were really trying really hard not to, but we were getting in debt trying not to. And so we did. We had to go on benefits. And for me, the first level of success was I want to make my family independent so that we can have whatever life we choose and we're not you know, stuck down with just benefits. Obviously they were needed at the time and whatnot, but the first level was like, can I publish books and earn enough money to support my family? That's like level one. And that's something I've recently succeeded at, sent those emails saying, oh, we don't need this anymore. Thank you very much for supporting us over the last few years. And that was like, that's like huge to me because that was goal, it's the ultimate goal is actually to earn a living doing something I love. I mean, how lucky is that?
Yeah.
Um, and then now it's like, okay, I want to just build on that. So now, we're trying to move to France and, we want to eventually like buy a nice house there and everything else. So I think success is really being happy in life. To me, that's ultimate success. And being an author is really enabling me to do the things I want to do and have a creative outlet and spend time with my family. To me, that is like all the success in the world. And I feel very privileged and very grateful that I've stumbled into this.
I think that's amazing. And if people aren't inspired listening to you speak like that, then they're crazy, because honestly, you are so unbelievably inspiring. So thank you for sharing your story. So books. We actually haven't talked about your books. We talked about your writing, but we haven't talked about your books. So can you share with us? Can you share like some of your books or your latest release, whatever you fancy, telling us about?
So my latest release was actually a Christmas book. That's getting a new cover. So if you're watching rather than listening, I don't have that to show. But I also have the Little Blue Door series, which has the Little Blue Door, Behind the Olive Trees, and Chasing Greek Dreams, and they're all part of the a 3-part series. And actually, the Little Blue Door has recently just been released on audiobook. So if you're an audio person, then it sounds amazing as well. And you're just like, I love this so much. I just want to cry. I was like, right, next it has to be on TV because this is amazing. I sort of in love with my own book again.
Love
Like
it. Yes.
I did it or anything for a while, and you hear it back and you're like, oh, do you know what? I am good at this. I got really arrogant about it.
Absolutely.
And then there's Greek Secret as well, which was the one that was shortlisted for the Kindle Storyteller Award. All of those ones are set in Corfu, which I just love. Greece, I love Corfu. The people there are amazing. Food's amazing. You'll just find in my books I'm like describing food and feeling really hungry while I do it. Like I'm just like there's so much just like pretty. There's always like the beautiful sunsets and the delicious food, and then there's like harrowing sadness going on in people's lives, and romance, because love and romance are like I think always required. So who doesn't love love? So that's the sort of things people find in my books.
Yeah, they're just complete escapism, aren't they? They're
They
just
really are, yeah.
wonderful escapism. And if you are listening rather than watching, the covers are absolutely beautiful. They're completely gorgeous. So yeah, stunning reads, stunning books all around, and on audiobooks now with Little Blue Door if you're after that. So that is amazing. We've only got one more question to go. So thank you for that. And that is, if you could be one of your characters for one day, who would you be?
I would be Ruby from Greek Secret, because a lot of her trauma is in the past. So she's working through it, but she's not like living it now. So I'm just like, I'd give myself the easy ride. She just gets to fall in love with a handsome Greek guy and just work through her issues with him. And I'm like, I mean, there's more twists to it. I always throw in a little bit of extra twist, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah, I would be okay with just like hanging out and living in Corfu and just being in love and, and eating nice food for a day. That sounds
Priorities: sun, romance, and food. Like, what else?
Yeah, that's my life.
That's amazing. I absolutely love it. So there are so many of your books for people to check out, and I think anybody hopefully who's listened to this should be utterly inspired and think, yes, they too can be an author crushing it. And if you have enjoyed the show, and why wouldn't you, because it's like brilliant guests, please can you make sure that you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss our next amazing guest that is going to be with you soon.